The punishment of the Russian ballistic cruise missiles launched on civilian objects of Ukraine must be annihilated by the Ukrainian weapons of containment. Unfortunately, the short sight of our leaders did not allow Ukraine to launch its production before the aggression. Ukraine used to have the world's best experience in production of ballistic missiles carriers. I would like to draw your attention to the experience of the liquid March engines. Science and Space Company, while developing its missile complexes, plans its work on current development. A new reliable engine with multi-use has been created. The engine is not a product for a military engagement application. It has been suggested to finalize within a short period of time and establish the production single-stage rocket under assumed name XXX-1 with the ballistic range of 500 kilometers. The development of XXX-1 is made based on Construction Bureau, Science and Space, of rocket complex Green Space with double-stage rocket satellite carrier. We suggest Verkhovna Rada to carry out denunciation on behalf of Ukraine of the agreement of liquidation of missiles of medium and short range. So we could have a possibility to develop on the basis of civil rocket complex Green Space, a single-stage and double-stage rockets with possibility to hit targets without limited range. Single-stage rocket XXX-1 may be used as a kinetic weapon like a fall of the meteorite weighing up to 1.5 tons upon enemy's bunkers, warehouses, military vessels, airfields, and rocket mines. This is not a weapon of mass destruction. The target is hit with rockets, metal mass, with operating engine at the speed of 23 speed sound. We are going to demonstrate the possibilities of basic civil rocket complex Green Space.
The Green Space Rocket Space Complex consists of a 10 times reusable liquid fuel launch vehicle, a launch container, and a mobile launch platform. It could be based in an industrial zone of any aerospace port. The use of modern materials in the design of the launch vehicle enabled to abandon the use of turbopumping units in propulsion systems. The fuel components are pumped from the tanks to the engines with high-pressure nitrogen gas. The launcher is equipped with reusable cold rocket engines. The thrust of one combustion chamber of the engine is 10 tons of force. Rocket fuel is a highly concentrated hydrogen peroxide and ethanol. When burned, water vapor and some carbon dioxide are formed. The propulsion systems with high-pressure tanks with separating membranes inside can be restarted even in zero gravity. Payloads, primarily spacecraft or their clusters, with a total weight of up to 100 kilograms, are injected into sun-synchronous orbits with an altitude of 500 kilometers. The rocket is launched with the start of the engine in the launch container with water. The energy of water vapor is used. The flight of the launch vehicle after its jettison from the launch container is controlled aerodynamically and by deflecting the head part of the rocket by displacing the center of mass from the thrust vector of the engine. The residual gas under pressure is used in the gas nozzles to decelerate the stages after their separation from the launch vehicle and to guide them to the landing point. The problem of the return of the last stage of the launch vehicle from near-Earth orbit has been resolved A gas jet engine with high-pressure nitrogen takes the stage out of the orbit. Stage braking at altitudes of about 200 kilometers is provided with a hypersonic braking device until the release of landing parachutes. The stages of the rocket land on parachutes, where they are captured by helicopters for the future reuse. The technology already tested by Rocket Lab and others. The simplified design of the rocket, its launch without the cosmodrome launch pad equipment, and the reliable control system allow the industrial application of the rocket space complex. Green space, with the reusable launch vehicle, opens instant access to the low Earth orbit for the new space projects.
The main problem of domestic rocket building is its lack of domestic liquid March engine. Construction Bureau Science and Space has built one. The development of liquid rocket engine 6S10 is not unique because all well-known technologies are used while building it. However, the development of is specific because the heat of the engine contains the input of critical nozzle crossing and heat-resistant metal, which is used according to low-consuming technology of high-temperature synthesis. Material tantalum, carbide, graphite can ensure the work of liquid rocket engine without cooling it, because it has some working characteristics which allow its exploitation safely, durably, under the temperatures up to 3760 degrees K or 3487 degrees Celsius. The technologies of such process were invented in Ukraine in 1967, but they haven't been used in domestic rocket building industry. Titanium carbide graphite were built in the engine technical documentation. The startup will allow finalized specifics of technological process by creating a ready-to-use part using powder metallurgy. This wasteless technology, with little energy to obtain, a part made a carbide graphite titanium with the world's refractory material. The partners of this grant are scientists and explorers of the National Technological University, Kyiv Polytechnical Institute, named after Sikorsky. They have had analogical experience conducting experiments with powder metallurgy, and they have all the necessary equipment. Finalizing, including the finances from the grant, developed construction documentation for the rocket engine GS-10 will provide the opportunity to create the line of rocket complexes with rocket carriers starting from short to medium range missiles up to orbital, in particular with the aim of military and political containment against the Russian Federation.